All right, so I couldn't be here today, which means I put our notes in this video form. Today is a fairly easy day, so don't stress out too much. You need to have everything down that I write in this video. You need to have all of it down in your book before I get started, because it's Friday. If you haven't already, pause the video now and turn in your homework and come back to the video. Okay, so angle sum of a triangle. There's a couple things that we need to know. This is something that I think we actually talked about last year, but we're going to talk about it again just in case. So first, before we start, a reminder. Angles usually have 3-letter names. And I'm actually going to get a bigger marker to write with. That's good. Angles usually have 3-letter names. Okay? The middle letter is the corner of the angle. For example, if we have this angle and it goes through points A, B, and C, this is how we would write its name. It would be this angle symbol, A, B, C, because B is the corner of it. I could also write it angle C, B, A. As long as B is in the middle, it doesn't matter. What I could not do is write angle A, C, B. What that tells me to do is to go from A to C to B, and this is my angle, but that's not the one that I'm talking about, okay? So our middle letter always has to be the corner of the angle, okay? There are some cases where we might have single letter angles, and if that is the case, then the single letter is the corner. Okay, so I could also name this angle B, but I couldn't name it angle A, and I couldn't name it angle C. Okay? All right. For our actual notes that matter to us today, we're going to talk about the angles of a triangle. And this is actually called the triangle sum theorem. The triangle sum theorem. As a reminder, very quickly, if I'm going too fast at any point, remember this is a video and you can just pause it and take down the notes and then keep it going. So the triangle sum theorem, here's what it says. The sum of the 3 angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. Always. Like forever, no matter what, always. Okay, and that's the entire triangle sum theorem. That's it. So we can use this in 2 ways. The first way is to find missing angles. Okay, to find missing angles. So for example, if I have a triangle and I know that this angle is 80 and I know that this angle is 60 and I don't know that angle, so it's a variable, then I can do 80 plus 60 plus my variable, my unknown angle, equals 180. Subtract 80. Subtract 60. And I know that my unknown angle is 40 degrees. The other way we can use it is to check triangles. Okay? To check to see if something is a triangle. So if I give you the angles 100, 60 degrees, and an angle that is 50 degrees, I can say, is this a triangle? Oops. And we would say 100 plus 60 plus 50 equals 210, which is not equal to 180, so no. Okay, those are the two ways that we use our triangle sum theorem. That's pretty much it. And we're going to focus on the first one today. Okay, so turn to the next page after you have that down. Pause it if you need to finish taking down the notes or anything. Otherwise, turn to the next page. And we see this exploratory challenge 2. It says, the figure below shows parallel lines L1 and L2. L1 and L2. Let M and N, these two lines, be transversals that intersect L1 at points B and C respectively. That means M is intersecting at point B, N is intersecting at point C. And L2 at point F. So both of them are intersecting at point F. Let A be on line L1 to the left of B and D, to the left of B. Let D be a point on line L1 to the right of C. G is on line L2 to the left of F, and E is on line 3 to the right of F. Okay, so what we could do here is actually get out a protractor and start measuring things. Based off of what we learned yesterday, we know a few things about these angles. For example, we should know that this angle is equal to this angle, which is also equal to this angle, which is also equal to this angle. And there are plenty of angles throughout there that are equal. What it's really trying to get us to see is this triangle in the middle. We can draw it as a part of parallel lines intersected by two transversals, as long as the transversals cross at different points on one of the lines and the same point on a different line. So there are all sorts of relationships with the angles that we can talk about, and we will talk about those, but that's more of something that I need to be there in person to kind of lead a discussion with the whole class about, okay? So for now, let's put a star on this one, and we'll come back to it on Monday, okay? And I'm going to draw a better star. That's a little bit better. On number 4 and number 5, this is using our triangle sum theorem, okay? And this is where those three-letter names come into play. It says, what is the measure of angle ACB? Well, first I need to find that. I follow the order of the letters. So I go from A to C to B. And this is the angle I'm talking about. This one right here, okay? What I know is that all three of these angles, this one, and this one, all add up to 180. So if this top angle is worth 83, this bottom left angle is worth 64, and I don't know the last angle, so I'm just going to call it C. You could call it X, doesn't really matter. Oop, we had a little bit of cut in the recording there, sorry about that. So I add my two numbers together, 83 and 64 is 147. Still plus c equals 180. And now this is a one-step equation. We subtract 147 from both sides, which we should be able to do because we practice subtracting with decimals. We borrow a 1. This becomes 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. 7 minus 4 is 3. 1 minus 1 is 0. So c is equal to 33 degrees. Okay, that's the measure of angle ABC. And we write that like this. M angle ABC equals 33 degrees. Okay, if you get that and you are ready to go, then go on ahead. You can always come back to this video and check your answers. I'm going to keep going through these. Next one, I have angle EFD. So it's this one down here. I look for the middle letter. That's the angle, that's the corner of my angle. So I want to know what it is. I know it's going to equal 180 when I add all three together. So I have 40 plus 101 plus my unknown angle, which I'll call F because that's the corner, equals 180. I put these two together. 141 plus F equals 180. And now I subtract. And F is going to be equal to, I borrow a 1, make that a 10, that's a 7. 10 minus 1 is 9, 7 minus 4 is 3, 1 minus 1 is 0. So it's equal to 39. So here's how I write my answer again. M, angle sign. What's my angle? EFD. EFD. The M just stands for measure. Okay? So the measure of angle EFD is equal to 39 degrees. There's my answer. And I'll actually box in the last one as well. Okay, we can turn to the next page. This one looks very weird. Let's see what it is. We have, what is the measure of angle HIG? So I go from H to I to G. So it's this angle down here. Okay, it's the same thing. I take G, my angle up here, that's 14. I add my next angle, plus 154. I add my last angle. I don't know it, so I'll just call it I, and it's equal to 180. 14 plus 54 is 68. Sorry, 168. Plus I equals 180. I subtract. I will be equal to, borrow a 1, 12. So the measure of angle HIG equals 12 degrees. There's my answer. Next one. What is the measure of angle ABC? This one's a little bit weird. It says all of the angles are worth X. So let's just set it up. Angle, this bottom one is worth X. This one is worth X. And this one is worth X. We're adding those together and they equal 180. I can combine my like terms. That makes it 3x, still equal to 180. Now it's still a one-step equation. I divide. 180 divided by 3 gives me 60. So angle ABC, this one, is worth x degrees and x is 60. So the measure of angle ABC is equal to 60 degrees. Okay, so sometimes even if it looks weird and we don't really see any numbers, we can still find our answer. Okay, last one. Triangle DEF is a right triangle. A right triangle. What is the measure of angle EFD? So let's find it. EFD. Something we didn't talk about. This box means 90 degrees. Last year, I remember in my class, at least some of them, I would make everyone, every time we saw that box, we would write in 90 degrees. That's what this box in the corner means. okay? So write that in. Now, notice that's a right angle because this is a right triangle. Now, this part becomes easy. 57 up here plus 90 from down here equals F from down here. Sorry, not equals F. What am I doing? Plus F equals 180. There we go. 57 plus 90 is 147. We subtract 147, and F is equal to, borrow a 1, 33. So the measure of angle EFD is equal to 33 degrees. Okay, so this is all that I'm going to lead us through. On this next page, I want you guys to work on this till the end of class, and then the sub will hand out the homework at some point. And yeah, there shouldn't be anything too challenging on here. All of these work the same way as all of these that we just did, okay? So you guys be good, and I will see you all on Monday.